Jillian, let's bring in Arkansas Republican Senator Tom Cotton. He's a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. Senator, it's great to see you. I want to play a little more of what Lloyd Austin said. He was asked why the U.S. waited so long to step up action against these Iranian proxies who were attacking U.S. forces. Here's how he responded.
At this point, we should. It's time to take away even more capability than we've taken in the past. We look to hold the people that are responsible for this accountable. And we also look to make sure that we continue to take away capability from them as we go forward.
Well, at least in that part of the answer, he did not say why the U.S. waited so long, but this idea of, quote, taking away capability. There are many people, and I think that you're among them, who say, no, what you need to do is not take away capability. You need to punch Iran in the nose so hard that it stops this.
Yeah, John, it's not just waiting for 4 or 5 days since the 3 Americans were killed and dozens wounded, some critically. It's 3 years of Joe Biden's failed Iran policy. Secretary Austin admitted to me last year in a hearing that there'd been over 80 attacks on American positions, and we'd only retaliated 4 or 5 times. And that was before the October 7th atrocity in Israel. Now, just in the last 3 months, it's been over 160. And we continue to look the other way, turn the other cheek, to shoot at empty warehouses in the desert. And it's sounding increasingly like that's exactly what's going to happen here. We are telegraphing what we plan to do. As Jennifer Griffin said, most of Iran's key leaders in Iraq and Syria have already hightailed it back to Iran. And it certainly sounds like the Secretary and the President have taken off the table entirely targeting Iranians or Iranian assets, like the ships they're using to conduct intelligence in the Red Sea. None of that is going to scare Iran straight. If Iran has a proxy strategy going back 30 years and all we do is hit their proxies, it simply validates Iran's strategy and puts more American lives at risk.
We had in the program earlier this week the former Vice President Mike Pence, who is unique in modern times in that his administration was about the only one that struck Iran directly after a similar incident that killed an American contractor when they took out Qasem Soleimani. Here's what Pence said he thinks should happen now.
My hope is that what President Biden has approved here is not striking more militia bases as they've done in the past in Syria or in Iraq, but actually to take this fight directly to Iranian forces. And frankly, I think the time has come for them to strike oil or military infrastructure in Iran.
But what we hear from the Biden administration, we don't seek war with Iran, we don't want to escalate, we don't want to broaden this war. It sounds like they're scared to death to do that.
Well, they are scared to death, and Joe Biden's been scared to death since the moment he took office. That's why we saw the fiasco in Afghanistan in 2021, why Vladimir Putin thought he could get away with invading Ukraine, and now why Iran thinks it can just keep shooting rockets and missiles and drones at our troops throughout the region. You know, they talk about they have to go through with exquisite care to identify whether Iran knew about this or that attack. Iran has been training and arming and equipping and advising all of these militias and terrorist groups for years. Who cares if they knew about this specific attack? They're responsible for what you see in Jordan that killed our troops, what you see with Yemeni outlaws shooting missiles at one of our naval ships last night. Frankly, what you saw on October 7th. When Hamas committed its atrocity against Israel. Iran is responsible for all of these things. And unless we take action like Donald Trump did against Qasem Soleimani in 2020, or Ronald Reagan did when he sank half of Iran's Navy in 1988, these attacks will continue.
I want to ask you quickly, Senator, about the Senate hearing yesterday with the big tech CEOs. When Mark Zuckerberg said this about the potential for social media to cause mental harm to young people, listen to what he said.
Mental health is a complex issue, and the existing body of scientific work has not shown a causal link between using social media and young people having worse mental health outcomes.
You know, our Martha McCallum heard that and thought that it reminded her an awful lot of this moment in Congress some 3 decades ago. Listen here.
There is no justification for the FDA to regulate cigarettes as a drug.
We have looked at the data, and the data that we have been able to see has all been statistical data that has not convinced me that smoking causes death.
Addiction involves 3 different criteria. They are intoxication, physical dependence, and tolerance. And to my knowledge, there is no evidence that nicotine or cigarette smoking plays in any of these definitions.
So that moment from 1994 turned out to be BS. Did you get the sense that that's what the CEOs of these big tech companies were pushing yesterday, too?
Well, John, I just use common sense. If you look at the prevalence of mental health challenges with America's youth, especially young girls, it spikes about 10 or 12 years ago. And what happened 10 or 12 years ago, you had the widespread adoption of smartphones and the explosion of social media among America's youth. I think most Americans can kind of put two and two together and realize that we need sensible controls on social media for young people. That's why I have bipartisan legislation that would require genuine age verification and give parents a say over what their kids are doing online. Parents have that say in the real world, they should have it in the digital world. And then of course you have other malevolent companies like TikTok, which is a stooge of the Chinese Communist Party, which doesn't just allow kids to access inappropriate material, but actually pushes it on them, actually pushes young girls to watch videos about body image issues, or young boys to see violence and degrading pornography, and actually is trying to poison the minds of Americans' kids, when the Chinese version of TikTok just tells Chinese teenagers to eat their vegetables and do their homework and respect their elders.
All right. Senator Tom Cotton of the great state of Arkansas, good to catch up with you. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.